though, guys. There's no point speculating when we can get straight into the game. So, we have in the bottom left-hand corner, ladies and gentlemen, one half of the Spanish Armada and one of the favorites to make it really far in this tournament, but he is playing in the lower bracket now. Can he do it? It is Lucifron. His opponent in the top right, the local hero from right here in Singapore. Ladies and gentlemen, your red Protoss player, we have Blysk.
And definitely a crowd favorite, as we can hear right
so.
there. Yeah. That would be pretty awesome if he could qualify in. Of course, again, he will have that third place match.
That's right.
We aren't sure who it's going to be against because we just saw Ender go down against Sting. So Ender's going to be playing someone for the second place in that group. I'm not sure exactly who's left in that bracket, but he will be playing the loser of that match, Ender versus somebody. So definitely a chance to get more people, at least from the region. You know, the Southeast Asian region has not done poorly so far. In fact, Lucifron knocked down by Mafia, a player from Australia.
Yeah, and Jabito, of course, already in the group
That's
stage
right.
as well. So we have the Asian locals, and we've got the Terrans representing here in the open bracket in the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore Challenge. Super cool to see that kind of stuff going on, and we'll see if this ends up being an exception to the rule. Blysk does have a mountain to climb, but I think he might be able to do it as long as he keeps up the standard of game that we saw earlier and then squeeze that little bit extra. So in the meantime, guys, Gateway nearly finishing for Blysk in his main base. So you have scouting the bottom right first. Not going to be able to see it, but will be scouting Lucifron next. And Lucifron not going for any gas. He's actually walled off as well, so the probe will not be able to see if a gas has been taken. It looks like this is probably going to be one Rax gasless fast expand.
Yes, but Blysk has gotten his second gas before his cybernetic score. Now, it slowed down that cybernetic score a little bit, but that's a lot of gas. I wonder what he's going to end up doing here.
That is very interesting indeed. I mean, what is he?
Well,
he's got two. Well, he's got two probes in each gas.
Could still be a fast expansion.
Yeah, it's not completely like I need to get as much gas as I can ASAP to go for some sort of horrendous tech route. He's just getting a little bit more gas than normal. So really, all options are still open to Blysk. He hasn't committed to fast tech.
Could be doing absolutely anything in the world right now. And we won't really know until he gets that Stalker out and chases away this SCV, because that's when he can show his tech or his expand or whatever it is he really wants to do.
So SCV going to be dancing around the main base. Does actually get a swipe off on that Zealot. Not really something he wanted. The Stalker, though, is about to complete, and Lucifron will not be able to stay in the base to scout any longer at all. The command center is nearly complete for Lucifron inside his base as well, going up to barracks number 2 and 3 and taking both of his gases too, as the Nexus now goes down from Blysk.
All right, so Blysk just wanting to get that fast expansion up as well. We'll have to keep an eye out if he wants to do something like maybe a quick third Nexus or some heavy tech afterwards, because he does have both those gases and can get the additional gas for builds like that.
Yeah, he's gone up to 120 gas so far, so his routes are definitely open to him at this point. Of course, we have got a couple more gateways going down, but really we want to be seeing what he's doing with that gas. And a little bit of an engagement there at the ramp, but nothing too much to worry about. The bunker, of course, will adequately defend. And Blysk has not scouted that the natural is there, but of course it's being built in the main.
All right. So just pretty standard and safe so far from Blysk, and that's actually looking pretty good for him. But hold on, this Stalker taking a lot of damage does get it out of there. Very quick reaction speed there by Blysk. But, you know, the fact that Blysk even has gone straight up to 3 gates makes me feel like he's already got his mind in the right place. 3 gates and then a robotics.
Yeah.
Pretty much just safe against everything so far. And that's going to be good against an aggressive player like Lucifron.
Well, he got, obviously, he got his natural expansion up and running. Lucifron hasn't sent in any sort of poking or prodding at the front yet. So, like you mentioned, Blysk should be in a fairly comfortable place here. He's got a couple of sentries here. They're going to be slowly gaining that energy over time so that when Lucifron does poke in here, Blysk will be prepared with those force fields, maybe try to pick off a couple of units too. So the longer this progresses, especially once the Robo finishes, Blysk is just going to be okay. As the Stalker once again marching in, but this time losing nothing but shield.
All right, so he has added another gas What we see from Lucifron, kind of standard. You know, he's getting his upgrades pretty quickly for those Marines. Now, will he throw down the Robotics Bay for Colossi Tech, or will he throw down the Twilight? It is going to be the Twilight. Ooh, we could possibly see something like Charge Lot Archon here, but he's definitely going to want to get it forged pretty quickly.
Yeah, he needs to grab that down. I mean, normally you see the Forge and the Twilight Council go down fairly similar in terms of timing, and well, Twilight's actually nearly done, and we don't see a hint of one yet. So I wonder what Blysk has planned. Could it be he wouldn't have just forgotten it, so...
You might want to get it just a little bit later. We will end up seeing in just a second here. What is he going to get with this? Will it be Charge? Directly into Charge and that Templar Archives. This is a really strong and good choice for this map.
It's going to be interesting to see if Lucifron reads this correctly when he gets up here. He hasn't got any scouting information on the tech choices yet. We have got Charge, of course, being chrono boosted out there. Templar Archives about 3/4 of the way complete. And Lucifron has a lot of Marines here just sort of defending the natural, waiting to see if Blysk basically has anything prepared for him. But neither player really being particularly aggressive here. I'm actually a little surprised Lucifron hasn't at least prodded around.
Yeah, well, right now this Observer coming in and seeing what is up exactly. Sees those Medivacs popped out. Could not have asked for a nicer timing than this. He knows that at this point Lucifron has to be moving across the map. He's making his Archon, he's making his Immortal, and adding 5 more gates. He's going up to 8 gates. 8 gates plus an Immortal and a Warp Prism on the way. I think we're going to see a good defense here by Blysk, and probably a very strong counterattack.
This could end up being actually quite good for Blysk here. I mean, Lucifron is going to try and poke and prod away. These sentries have full energy, and Archon is already here. We have no Storm for the High Templar, of course, and wow.
That was perfect. He needs to buy just a little bit more time. He doesn't have a lot of units right now, and he needs to get more charge lots out if he actually wants to hold this. Lucifron is coming, though, and maybe not the best force fields right there, but his Archons will plow through them. But is this just too much damage output? It looks like it may be.
And Lucifron moving in. Combat shield is now complete on the Marines, picking apart the Archon as well, which is crucial. Huge amount of DPS in that army, instantaneously lost here. We have some Zealots moving out, but the bowl of Marines is actually looking a little bit too strong. Lucifron going up to 98 supply versus 52, and GG, well played from Blysk. Lucifron wins game number 1.
Indeed he does, but I have to say, Blysk played very strongly there. You know, if he had just made a couple more rounds of units, it was like he was skimping on his gateway units to get more gates up quicker. But if he had taken the gates either way quicker or slower and gotten more units out, he should have been able to hold that and would have been, tech speaking, in a fine place against Lucifron.
We had a game earlier today, Artosis, where we mentioned that, okay, the final battle was over super quickly and one side was very obviously won, but a very small difference in decision-making one way or another, just like 10 or 20 seconds, could have made all the difference in that particular engagement. And that's what we saw here, like you mentioned. Imagine if Blysk, for example, had, let's say he had one more Archon out and a round of Zealots or something like that. That push would have been very, very different when it came down the front door. The reason why it was so strong from Lucifron was because he was basically engaging the units from Blysk a couple at a time. He just didn't have them ready.